Hey there! Let's talk about the next part of the Modern Cellist Manual, scales. Scales are the least sexy and the most important thing you can probably do. In the book I say that Ron Leonard and I had an exchange where he was asking why I wasn't practicing my scales and what is the reason we practice scales? And I said, oh, you know, it's like a one-liner, something to rip off really fast to make your runs really quick. And the room got quiet and I think the world stopped spinning, and he just looked at me and he said, no, Emily, they are our vocabulary. And I think even more than that, it's like they're our alphabet. They show you, because they're a series of notes in a row, where the notes are on the instrument. So if you try to play anything without playing scales, it's like trying to write a poem without knowing the alphabet. It's extraordinarily fundamental. And if somebody called me and said, Emily, Carnegie Hall tomorrow, concerto of your choice, I would do two things. I would practice whatever concerto it was at half speed, and I would play scales. Slowly, probably. So they're that important. They show you where the notes are. So the first scale that I offer you is the C scale, and although I've got it written sometimes as quarter notes in the book, sometimes as half notes, I think a really good way to practice it is with these kind of chunky, excuse me, sounding bows. So if you play like this, with a space, in that space you prepare the left hand for the next note. And you can also watch your technique, because a lot of people will start playing their scale really fast and you get into, and then immediately, and then good luck, and then my pinky doesn't even really reach the string, or just all kinds of weird stuff. You can get into smashing your fingers. So the spaces in between the notes are not there to make it sound ugly. They're there to give you a chance to line up all of the technical aspects that you're supposed to be thinking about. So, so you've got your C scale. Also, you can practice it with 4 martelets down, 4 martelets up, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Not fast. If you're doing it fast, probably doing it wrong. And then the next thing I talk about, the next chapter, is a little bit more about the bow. And it's just supplemental stuff, because now if you're in this part of the book, you're probably playing a little bit more, and what you're playing aspires to be music. And what happens then when you can hear the result and it's so close, we get what we call note fever. And you are so desperate to hit that note that you will do any kind of technical craziness to just get the sound, because it's so frustrating, because the cello, even when done properly, sounds pretty rough for the first few weeks or months or years. So one of the things I was talking about is staying loose no matter what. So for instance, when I play something really loud, and when I play really soft, there's a few things that change. I was taking a lot more bow, but I wasn't necessarily pushing harder when I did the louder run. What I did was I allowed the full weight of my arm to be transferred to the bow. And when I play quietly, that's when I find, if anything, I'm a little bit more taxed, because there's a sense that I'm lifting up on the bow. So I lobby in that chapter that you really have to keep your thumb curved or straight, but never hyperextended. And the same thing with your pinky. It's really easy to get it standing up on the end of the bow like that, because we want to counterbalance. And people fight with me on this all the time, but really, that's what you want. People say, but look, if I don't counterbalance with my pinky, everything goes this way. Absolutely it does, because this is where the cello is. And if you think that it's bringing you too far over, then you use your arm to come down. So the pinky, I put people in pinky probation frequently. You don't really need it. It's handy when you're playing stuff like this at the frog, but you know what? You don't really need it. So those are the next 2 chapters. Sorry it was so long between like the first 3 and then this, but I'll try to be better about it, and I hope this helped. Thanks. Bye.